Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to share with you about how you can truly learn to live your human design and what that will mean for you and your life, and how that can enable you to start being part of the solution to some of the big challenges that we're facing here in the world today. I'm also going to share with you about how you can work more closely with me so that you can receive all of the information about human design that you need. But not only that, also how you can make it real in your life, how you can apply it, integrate it, embody it, so that you can really grow yourself into the empowered and inspired and creative and effective and joyful person that you have the potential to become. I want you to know that you matter. Who you are, what you bring to the planet, the specific medicine that only you can provide, all of this really matters. We need you. We really do. Okay, let's get into it. Have you been feeling depressed or confused or overwhelmed? I've been hearing this a lot from friends and about friends of friends, and hearing it from clients and seeing it on social media. I know that people who are even doing well are also feeling challenged, and that's totally understandable. I mean, here we are a little over 2 years into a global pandemic, and all that has brought us, all the different kinds of fears and challenges it's stimulated for us, even in the places where that's now starting to unwind, we're still really feeling the impact of that. For some people, the impacts have included economics. Some people lost their jobs, their businesses closed. Other people decided to leave their jobs. Some people are realizing that even though they still have their jobs, they're not necessarily sure they want to keep doing those jobs. So there's a lot of dynamic changes that are going on in our economic sphere right now as well. Then in the political world, there is sparring and even warring going on between authoritarianism and democracy, and it's heating up more and more all the time, it seems like. Plus, we've got climate change and ecological disaster, and it's a lot. It's a lot when you actually pay attention to what's going on in the bigger world, right? It can be a lot to take in. Sometimes I hear people say, or I can feel them thinking, why should I bother? I'm just one person. What can I do? These issues are bigger than anything I can make an impact on, so I'm just going to go ahead and, watch Netflix, or I'm going to keep watching YouTube videos, or whatever it is, right? I'm going to keep distracting myself. I've been talking a lot about distraction lately because I'm also noticing it in my own behavior, right? The tendency towards distraction. But I want you to know that you really do matter. Your contribution matters. You becoming an empowered person who feels on purpose, it really matters. And let's remember what Margaret Mead said, a long time ago. She said, never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, nothing else ever has. And I've been thinking about that lately because I believe that those of us who are drawn to human design and quantum human design, we are part of a small group of thoughtful and potentially committed citizens who can be changing our world as we learn to live our design and we become more and more empowered and enabled as a result of doing so. So here's a few things that I know for sure. One is that we need to get stronger. We need to become more resilient. We need to become more resourceful. We need to not give in to distraction, and we need to build our physical vitality, our energetic mastery. This is all what feminine sovereignty is about, right? We need to really be building ourselves into stronger people so that we can meet the challenges that we have today. We need to be boosting our creativity and boosting our intuition so that we can be receiving the insights and the inspirations and the epiphanies that we need to help take us forward into the new world that we're really longing for. And we need to be able to do this without getting overwhelmed or feeling confused, right? We need to be able to face the challenges and feel grounded and feel capable that we are able to move forward with the things that are ours to do. And human design is the fastest, most effective way that I know of to identify and help us to start unraveling the outdated conditioning, the old patterns, the programmed behavior, our limited ways of thinking about what's possible and who we can be in our lives and who we can be in the world. It's really helpful for disrupting all of that and for opening up new vistas of possibilities and handing us potentials that we've always had, but maybe we didn't know were there, or we didn't really know how to build our capacity in them, even if we did know that they were there. I think about myself as, an intuitive kid who kind of just shut it off and put it to the side because there wasn't any education or even any acknowledgement that that was valuable in the family and the culture that I grew up in. And so for us to be developing our capacity in these areas that lie outside the mainstream, I believe is going to be absolutely critical for us as we are making our way through this really challenging time that we're in now to the new world that we can feel pulling us forward, and we so are wanting to help create. And I know also for sure that you and your medicine, your contribution, what only you can bring is a part of this solution, that you are a critical aspect because you chose to be born here at this time. You chose to be here at the turning of the ages. And yeah, it's friggin' intense. Absolutely. And it's challenging. It's challenging for me too. Believe me, my life is full of challenge as well. And we chose to be here. At some point before we took form, we raised our hands and said, yes, we're going to be there for that. I just want to affirm that living your design will unleash you from outdated patterns and behaviors and ways of being, ways of seeing what's possible in the world. I've seen it and I've experienced it personally. So then the question is, how do you live your human design, right? This is something that people ask me, right? How do you activate your superpowers? Well, let's just start with the basics, okay? Which is type, strategy, and authority. And probably if you've been following me for a while, you watch some of my videos about type, strategy, and authority. And I just want to be an advocate for how significant that really is. Because sometimes people just want to say, oh yeah, okay, that's great. Okay, I need to learn how to respond. Okay, or I need to, wait for the invitation, or, okay, I'll, fine. But then they go on to more minutia without really taking that on. So the very first thing that we always do is learn how to live in alignment with our type, our strategy, and authority. And I want you to know, if that is all that you do with human design, that it's enough. If that's all you really want to get out of studying this system, it's all you want to do next in terms of your growth with human design, that's great. And that will be enough. But I'll tell you, one of the things that I see a lot is people are going around and they're getting a little information here. They're getting a little information there. They're maybe reading, a book or some blogs there, and they're watching a video from this person and they're watching a video from that person. And by the time they come to me for a reading, they're actually really confused because they're getting contradictory information about how to understand human design. Now, let me just say that a diversity of opinion about human design is inevitable at this point because human design is growing and evolving in today's world, right? It's almost 30 years since this system was brought in, and then our founder, Ra, developed the system over years. Like when he first got it, it's very different. Even by the time he passed, it was quite different. Like the types didn't come in initially, right? That was something that he developed. So he kept evolving the system over time as well. And then other people who were students of his have all continued to develop the system, and there have been kind of different legacies that have developed out of that. And so for me, I decided to learn from Karen Curry Parker because when I was first really looking at human design, I realized there were kind of all these different schools of thought that had somewhat different flavors and different emphases. And she's the one that I decided I really wanted to work with. And it made a huge difference when I did so. So I want to encourage you, if you want to go deeper with human design beyond type, strategy, and authority, and even there really, but especially if you want to go from there, that you want to go pick a person, right? Pick somebody you really resonate with. Pick somebody who you feel is one of the experts in the field, and then commit to studying with them, because that way you'll get a consistent narrative and a consistent teaching across all of the fundamentals of the human design system. And it'll kind of all add up. After you do that, or you decide you want to learn from somebody else, sure, you can do that if you want. But I just think that I see a lot of people getting confused because they're not getting a comprehensive introduction to all of the fundamentals through one person who can give it to them in a really digestible way that they can integrate and then they can apply in their lives. So if you've been watching my videos and you appreciate my teaching style and my perspective on human design and on life, because I talk a lot about life, right, as well, then I want to invite you to come and work with me. I'm just opening up registration for my Activate Your Superpowers Introducing Human Design Group Coaching Program. And if you, like me, and you've been watching my videos, and if you've got maybe the Getting Started with Human Design ebook series or the Transform Your Life with Human Design audio ebook series, this would really be the best next step for you, because it is a comprehensive program that will introduce you to all of the fundamentals of human design, but it goes far beyond that. Okay, let me explain a little bit more. So when you go deeper with human design, the fundamentals that you want to make sure that you're learning about. So there's type, strategy, and authority. Okay. Then the 9 centers, and not just the 9 centers, but specifically the motors. So there's 4 motors of the 9 centers. Then you also really want to get definition and openness, and what the different qualities of definition and openness are, and the definition and openness in your centers and in your motors. In particular, you want to know about your throat, because what kind of throat you have. There's 3 different kinds. There's motorized throats, they're defined but non-motorized throats, and there's open throats. You might not know what that means, but those are actually really critical things for you to know. And then you want to know about definition and openness entirely throughout the chart. You're going to want to know about the incarnation cross and the circuits. So there are 3 main circuits, and each of those circuits also has sub-circuits. If you've been watching my transit reports, you'll have heard me talk about the circuits quite a bit. Then you're also going to want to know about the planets, because the planets are, where the planets are in the human design mandala is what gives you definition. And so those are all really important. I cover all of these in my Activate Your Superpowers program. And this is an excellent introduction to these fundamentals that will give you an overview that will help you to start putting the pieces together. Because a lot of times when I talk to people, they're in the stage of, oh, wow, this is really fascinating and it's really complicated and it's kind of confusing, but I'm really fascinated. So if that's you and you want to move out of that stage, then these are the pieces that you're going to want to know. Of course, there's also the channels and the gates. And I actually have just put together something that's a really cool bonus I'll tell you about in a minute that has to do with the gates. Okay. Now, there are other introductory programs that are out there, and there are definitely professional training programs like the one that I did. If you know that you want to be a specialist, or you know you want to be an expert, and you're okay, taking 3 years and dropping $10,000 to do that, that's a great path to go, and I encourage you to do it. But if you're like, no, I just want to know more, and even more than that, I want to know how to make it real in my life, then what I provide is pretty unusual. What's different about my program, there's a couple of things. One is that my emphasis on superpowers. And if you've been in the human design world for a while, you no doubt will have run across some of the ways that human design gets taught that's not quite so empowering. Some of it's pretty negative, actually, and sometimes people come to me, they feel kind of bad about themselves because of things that either other experts have said to them or things that they've read. And that's really unfortunate. I am a very optimistic person in general, and I really want you to feel empowered by human design. And so that is what I focus on. But then in addition to that, I have a system that I've developed through teaching this program multiple times and through my readings and through working with clients for years now about how to activate those superpowers. So let's go through how you actually activate those superpowers. So the first step is to identify what they are. Okay, that's what you're going to do as you go through the fundamentals of the curriculum, right? Is you're going to identify what the superpowers are. But then you need to explore what your current relationship is to those superpowers, right? And you can discern what's in the way of you being able to activate your superpowers and your attachment to the block or the limitation. You may have heard me say before that when I first discovered human design, I really was very blocked about it. I had a tremendous amount of resistance because I couldn't really take in this idea that I was supposed to respond instead of to initiate. I know projectors a lot of times sort of feel like, wow, what a bummer, I have to wait to be invited, right? There's this way that you can feel like somehow this isn't right, or this isn't for me, or I don't understand it, or whatever. So we need to be able to take the time and to dive into that. I had to really work with myself to overcome my self-concept that I had about being an initiator and a person that made things happen and believing that nothing was going to happen if I didn't make it happen. Like that was a lot of my story about who I am and what I could do in the world. And I had to unravel all of that. And so that's going to be true for you on some level about something having to do with your superpowers. So identify the superpower, explore your current relationship with it. If you have resistance to it or blocks to it, then you need to unravel that, identify the blocks, and then make a new choice, right? You have to make a new choice to say, okay, I am going to step into this superpower, right? But then making the choice isn't enough. It's critical. You have to do it, but then you have to practice. Okay, you have to practice expressing the awakened or the more empowered expression of whatever it is in your design. And that is something that you do over time. This is why coaching is so vital, why you need to have accountability and a group of people that you can come back to and you can share about your challenges. Because my experience is that if you just read a book about human design, or even if you sit down and watch my videos, or even if you were to just take the videos, trainings that I have for this program, probably your transformation would be limited because it's hard to do that on your own. It's hard to really make a significant transformational change in your life on your own. We are communal beings and we're designed really to be together. And so having taught this course multiple times now, I actually keep adding more and more coaching to it because I know of its value. And so as you're doing that, and over time, you also need to track your experience. Track it, adjust as needed, get back on track when you wander away, because we all do that. We get involved and we do something for a while and then we wander away. And that's why we need that accountability. It's why we need the coaching. And then we need to adjust, because my experience is that you don't just get it all at once, right? It's layer by layer by layer. And as you dig more and more into your design, and as you live into more and more pieces of it, really different things become available to you. I know, like for me, aspects of my incarnation cross continue to reveal themselves to me, even after years now of me working with human design. And so we have to stay awake, we have to stay aware, and we really need to be accountable for what can happen for us. And it's much, much easier to do that when we are with other people. So I was saying a minute ago, I keep increasing the amount of coaching in this program because I see how much it really, really matters. And, honestly, I'm happy to provide more coaching because I'm not in this for the money. I mean, obviously, because I do these YouTube videos, they take a lot of time every week and I make extremely little from YouTube. And even that is only like in the last couple of months. And I do need to make a living. So I am grateful for those of you who come and get readings with me and to my my clients and all of that. I do. I'm very happy for that. But my point is that my main focus is really, how can I serve? How can I support you to grow into the fullest expression of your potential so that you can be someone who can be part of the solution? Because I really believe that when you become fully embodied and when you become fully expressed in your potential, the natural outcome of that is to want to serve. It's to want to give. It's to want to become something larger than yourself, because you've been doing your own self-development. And so you're able and you're willing and you're ready to go and help with bigger things that are happening in the world. And because my commitment is to that, that's why I provide this coaching, and I want to provide my guidance to you in making human design real in your life. I don't want it to just be more interesting information. I want to, take your hand, walk shoulder to shoulder with you, so that you can face the challenges that are in your life and learn how to apply human design to your day-to-day experience so that you can liberate yourself, really unleash yourself, liberate yourself from the confines of the conditioning that you've been living inside of, and you can become that stronger, more resilient, more resourceful, more creative person that you have the potential to be. You can find examples of my coaching here on YouTube. There's one that's an excerpt here that you can check out. It's actually from an intimate coaching group that I have. I was coaching a woman with her story making and how that was getting in the way of a relationship that she had. And so you can go and find that one here. And then also there's another one that's much longer that is drawn from a program that I did a couple of years ago. It's a series of 4 sacral sessions that I did with participants in that program. And it's called Sacral Authority Demonstrated, I believe. So you can go and look at that one there too. So you can just get a sense of what my coaching is like, right? I would imagine if you've been watching my videos, you have a sense of what my teaching style is like, but that will give you a sense of what my coaching style is like too. I'm going to get into the specifics of the program here in a second, but I want to just address the question of who is this program for. So I think I've mentioned a few things already, but I want to go a little bit deeper into this and say this is for the person who genuinely wants to use human design to uplevel their life. And you need to be willing to change. You need to be willing to kind of face your resistance. You need to be willing to unravel some of the conditioning that you have. And, not everybody's up for that, okay? And if you're not, that's okay. It might not be the right time for you. But if you are ready for that, then this program is really, really great for that, because human design is excellent at showing you the things that have been getting in your way and also giving you a lot of guidance about what's possible. So this is for you if you've been intrigued with human design, you've wanted to go deeper, maybe you already have some experience. Really, you don't have to have a lot of experience with human design already, but even if you have, you'll definitely go deeper with this. So it's for your personal development for sure. It's also for you if you know that this could be a great tool for you with your family, right? There's a lot of times I do readings with clients that they bring in charts from their families, and we look at those dynamics. Or if you want to use human design with, maybe you have a small company and you want to look at that. You want to look at who, when you're going to hire somebody, what some of their characteristics of their chart is. Or if you're somebody who already works with clients and you want to be able to use human design as a tool in your work with clients, but you're not wanting to become a specialist, right? You're not wanting to invest your time, money, and energy at that level, but you do want to have a comprehensive sense of the system and how you can use it to help your clients. In fact, I've had a couple of people that I know of who took this program and then went on to start doing readings for people. They started charging money for it. I believe one of them has gone on to be a specialist now, but the other has just been using what she knows to help the clients that she has. So there's a lot of different options. I want to show you a few slides that are going to give you some of the details about this program so that you have a little bit more information. Okay, so the heart of the program is 6 group coaching sessions. This is our opportunity for us to be face-to-face. We meet on Zoom. You get to bring any questions that you have and any requests that you have for coaching. Oftentimes people will say that these 6 coaching sessions are worth the entire investment for the program. And actually, if you do want to work with me, this is a great way to do it for a fraction of what it costs to work with me privately, and also just a little bit more than what it costs to have a reading with me. But you get to work with me over a 6-month period through these group coaching sessions. So it's really a great value, and it's a huge support for you as you are wanting to make human design be something that's really real for you in your life. So this is a curriculum-based program, and you will learn all of the fundamentals, right? So that you'll learn the elements of the chart, type, strategy, and authority, openness and definition, the 9 centers, also the motors and the motorized throats, the incarnation cross, the lines of the profiles, the 3 primary circuits, and the art of reading the chart. So this series of recorded video and audio trainings will give you the fundamentals that you need. But I have also added a couple of new bonuses that I'm really excited about. So I'm going to do a class that's on the planets and their meaning in human design, because they're different in human design than they are in astrology. I'm also going to be doing an interview with someone I know who is both a human design specialist and also an expert astrologer, so that we can talk about the difference between the two of them and just kind of chat about that. So that'll be an extra bonus that you'll be able to have too. Then in addition, and this is really cool, I have a new piece of software that will enable you to search the transcripts of all of my human design transit reports that I do every week for the specific gates. So I talk about all of the gates twice during the course of the year. I've already done 1 year's worth. I'm going back through and doing it again. So there's a lot of information that you can find through those transit reports. So it's not just like this little description or this one word that tells you about the gates. I go into some depth about them. So let's say you want to find out about where your conscious sun is, right? You can go and search for that gate. Let's say it's the gate 12. You can go and search for the gate 12 and find all of the different references for that in the transit reports that I've done, and that'll really help put you that together. So when you're diving into your incarnation cross, for example, and you want to know what those 4 gates are, you'll be able to search that database. So this is actually better than an individual class that I could give you on the gates. Actually, you really couldn't do that. It took me close to a year to learn the gates, right? There's 64 gates and 32 channels. Like it's a lot of information. So this is a very comprehensive and yet easy way for you to get that information for you. I'm actually really stoked about it. Okay, so there's 11 classes, including the one with the planets, that are delivered via video trainings, and then you also get audios and slides and worksheets. So the audios and slides are if you prefer to learn offline. I know sometimes I do, I'd rather have an audio and I can just look at the slides and I can, go to the park or go to the beach and learn that way. But then the other thing is the worksheets, and the worksheets are really vital because each one of them will guide you to think about and apply what you learn from the video and make it real in your life. These are all available to you once a week, and you can do them at your own pace though. And we're going to be coaching for 6 months. So let's say you decided you wanted to just do one every couple of weeks instead of every week. Or if you were really busy for a month and you couldn't do any new ones, that's okay. You can do this totally at your pace, and you can do it totally on your own time. I found that this is really important now because I'm having an increasingly international audience, and so it's great for people in different time zones to be able to study on their own timeline. So the total value of this program is $3,100. I just added all of that up. But the regular pricing for it is $697, and I want to make it really easy for you to say yes if you are interested in doing this. And so I'm going to give you a coupon to take $200 off of that through May 3rd. So at checkout, when you get to the order form, you just put in the code 200OFF, all in capital letters. You have to make sure it's all in caps or it won't work. So 200 off to get $200 off, and that will bring the price down to $497 or 4 payments of $147. So you can be spreading this out over 4 months and just be paying under $150 a month. And so, that's just the group coaching sessions are worth that. I mean, other people have paid more for that, believe me. So I really encourage you to join me if you like me, in the sense that you like me as a teacher, you feel like my coaching, suits you, if my orientation to human design suits you, if my orientation to life suits you, and more importantly, if you kind of tune in and you feel inside of yourself that this is your time to really grow yourself into the person that you imagine that you possibly could be, then I invite you, reach out my hand to you and say, hey, come on and join me. This will be a really, really good time to do that. All right. Here is the thing that it's even a crazier bonus, is for a limited number of registrants, and I actually haven't decided on how many, I'm going to give you an extra 30-minute reading with me as a bonus. Now, a lot of times when I've done this in the past, I'll do it for the first 5 registrants. But the truth is that I really like doing it with everyone. And so I'm going to even just say it's an unlimited number of registrants. It'll probably be around 10 because honestly, I don't know how many I can do this for. So if this is a bonus that you want, I encourage you to go and do this sooner than later. Like, don't wait and think that that'll still be available in a couple of weeks, because it may not. All right. So for a limited number of registrants, you'll get this 30-minute reading with me. And I am just delighted at the prospect that I may be getting to actually see you and talk to you and hear about what's going on in your life and help you to understand your chart more. And I just want you to take a moment to imagine, what would it be like if we were able to just reach out our hands to each other and you are able to step into the possibility and the potential of what your life could be like, and of who you sense that you could be, even if you don't know how to get there, even if you don't know what the particulars of that are. If you feel like your future is calling you forward, then I invite you to have me really come along on that journey with you and be a guide. I've been doing this kind of work for, over 20 years now. And, I know what I'm doing. So I would like to support you if it feels right to you. Okay. Many blessings. Much love.